Thanks. Another prestigious college sports program is being hit with allegations of abuse by one of its longtime coaches. This, while more victims are coming forward claiming they suffered sexual abuse at the hands of a former Penn State assistant coach named Jerry Sandusky. NBC's Peter Alexander is in State College with the latest on this story. Peter, good morning.
And good morning to you. Police in Syracuse, New York are investigating whether the men's assistant basketball coach there molested a boy beginning in the mid-1980s for more than 12 years. We'll have more details on that in just a moment. But here at Penn State University, the man initially named acting president has now officially taken over that title. His name is Rodney Erickson, and today we're learning new details about the case here and about a federal investigation as well.
Several lawyers tell NBC News that more young men are coming forward to say they're victims of Jerry Sandusky. Many of them empowered, the lawyers say, to begin sharing their stories of abuse in the face of Sandusky's denials. With Bob Costas on Monday night.
I say that I am innocent of those charges.
There's comfort in numbers, and I think that they now understand that we're not alone.
Ben Andreozzi represents at least two alleged victims, one of them not included among the 8 listed in the grand jury report. Andreozzi says that man was told by authorities he is victim number 11, and he's claiming there was yet another sexual assault on campus.
My client was sexually assaulted by Mr. Sandusky in the early 90s, and he was sexually assaulted on the grounds of Penn State University.
And federal investigators are now examining the Sandusky case. NBC News' national investigative correspondent Michael Isikoff.
Law enforcement sources tell NBC News that federal prosecutors and FBI agents are looking hard at whether to open up their own investigation because of allegations that Jerry Sandusky crossed state lines to commit child abuse. One of the Pennsylvania state charges against Sandusky alleges that he flew one boy, victim number 4, to the Outback Bowl in Tampa in 1998, and then again to the Alamo Bowl in San Antonio in 1999. Starting when the boy was about 13 years old, Sandusky is charged with repeatedly abusing him, including at the bowl games. The feds are also trying to determine whether Sandusky used the internet to recruit alleged victims, also grounds for the FBI to become involved. And the New York-based charity, the Fresh Air Fund, confirmed this week that it sent a half a dozen children across state lines to live with Sandusky. One high-level official said it would be inconceivable that we couldn't find grounds to make this a federal case.
Penn State's Board of Trustees has hired a large Pittsburgh-based law firm to advise it during this sex abuse scandal. 2 Penn State administrators already face charges they lied to a grand jury and didn't alert authorities when given a report of suspected abuse. They deny the charges. And with a new wave of heightened awareness on college campuses, late Thursday, Syracuse University announced it had placed assistant men's basketball coach Bernie Fine on administrative leave after a former ball boy told the media Fine molested him beginning in the 1980s. Fine denies the allegations, and the university says it investigated the complaint in 2005 and immediately alerted police, who found no evidence to support the claims, and no charges were ever filed.
And back here at Penn State, obviously this entire community has been affected by the allegations here, the allegations that Jerry Sandusky molested and abused, assaulting as many as 8, if not more, boys. So students and alumni have launched a fundraising effort here, and they're trying to show their support for the victims of child abuse, already raising more than $420,000.
Well, that at least is a little bit of good news in what is a really tragic story. All right, Peter Alexander, thank you so much. Ben Andreozzi is an attorney who represents 2 of Jerry Sandusky's alleged victims. Ben, good morning to you.
Good morning, Ann.
To what degree did Jerry Sandusky's interview with Bob Costas play a role in now this new client for you, the second client, coming forward for the first time, Ben?
I think it played a major role in the second client coming forward. I think that the client had buried some of these thoughts deep down inside himself and had decided that he needed to make a stance and to support the other young men who had come forward.
What can you tell us about this young man and the case he is making against Jerry Sandusky?
The only thing I can tell you at this point in time, Ann, is that he was not identified in the grand jury presentment. I can tell you that he was sexually assaulted in the early 90s. I can tell you that the assault happened on the grounds at Penn State University. And I can tell you that he believes there are at least 11 victims who have been identified. I don't want to get into the specifics about what happened to him and the specific abuse allegations so as not to step on the toes of the prosecutors.
But you use the word assault. Does that mean one assault, or can you tell us whether he's talking about multiple assaults?
I'll be in a position to release more information to the public after the prosecutors have released more information and identified some of the allegations. So I'll punt on that question for the time being until we're able to let the prosecutors discuss the new people who have come forward in this case.
As we just heard in Peter's report, he is not alone. This new client for you is not the only one who has come forward over and above those who have been indicated in the indictment. So the question I need to ask you as the attorney talking to these young people, how do you determine, specifically how do you determine whether a claim is legitimate or if it's coming from someone who's actually looking for a payday?
That's a good question, Ann. Through the course of the last several years, I've had the opportunity to meet with several assault victims in multitude of different cases. And through the course of experience, I think I've really got my finger on the pulse of sexual assault victims. And I can tell, when there's somebody who I believe has a credible claim. And I think it's important to note, Ann, that not every victim that comes forward in this case has a civil claim. There is a statute of limitations in the state of Pennsylvania. Right now, only victims who are below the age of 30 are able to bring civil cases in the state of Pennsylvania. So I don't think that this case is about money. I think it's about coming forward and doing what's right.
Ben Andreozzi, thank you so much for talking to us this morning. We look forward to speaking to you more again as obviously the story has a long way still to go. It is now 7:12. Let's get a check of the weather.
Good.